Hey guys, welcome in. It's Eric Roberts, Apex Piano Technicians Network. I'm a piano technician mentor and piano tuner, and today I'm going to share a story about a Steinway dealership and an issue I had when I was a very young technician. Now, before I get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the channel, and if you want to get started on a mentorship, just go to apexpiano.com. Now, I'm answering this for one of my people in the mentorship right now. They have an issue going on with the store. I don't know all the details, but it sounds similar to an issue I had when I was in my first year of piano tuning. I was bold enough to go to a Steinway dealership and ask them, can I work here? Can I tune here? I thought this was going to be the end. This was going to be the big deal for me, getting in a dealership. It was about 30 minutes away from my house. Now, my mentors already worked at the dealership that was closer to my place, and we sort of had an understanding like that's their territory. Like, I'm not gonna. So I went off and found some other stores. I thought, oh, this store is cool. I don't know anybody here, and it's not encroaching upon the people who are teaching me into their business. And so it was just sort of a thing that I had. I went in, talked to the owner. He's like, oh yeah, come on in and tune a piano, and I came in and tuned a couple pianos. He's like, okay, that's pretty good. We'll see you come tune a couple pianos next week. And I gave him a discount, did all the stuff that you would do for a dealership, the Steinway dealer. And I thought this is going to be just great, networking and getting involved. So here's a couple weeks in. Now you got to remember the Steinway dealership has other piano tuners. They probably have a lot of other piano tuners coming in and people want to tune. So the owner was nice to me. He was a pretty cool guy. I thought, yeah, I'll give this guy a try. And he knew I was young, knew I was kind of getting started. So after a couple weeks, going in a couple times, and I wrote a couple bills out, and he gave me a piano that was like really out of tune. It's like just out of the box. It needed a pitch raise, and I quickly learned these pianos are extremely hard to tune. These right out of the box pianos. I mean, really, I don't suggest you going into the dealership early on. I suggest you kind of stay out of the dealership and find your way, because what happened was I probably struggled with that piano. And he probably thought, well, he didn't do a great job. It wasn't in tune that great when he left. I still charged him, so I think he was like a little biffed at that. That's not the point. He said, I want you to work with this lady who works for me. She's a tuner. She's a great tuner here in the area. She's going to come in and help you learn to tune a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Anybody can help me out. I'll learn, just let me, meet her. So she came in the next time I was there, and she proceeded to, tell me that, I was doing it all wrong and I didn't know how to tune pianos. And if you want to tune pianos, you got to do this and this and this. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, oh gosh, what's wrong? I'd been tuning for pay. I'd already been working my business, and I have really good mentors already. So I was like, oh, this sounds weird. This isn't what my mentors are telling me. This is weird. So I call them up. I'm like, hey, this lady tells me to do this, and she told me to do that. She was telling me to pound really hard, and I was watching her tune. She was pounding the heck out of the piano, just pounding these new pianos. And I'm like, guys, I don't see that as being something I want to do. And so I kind of had I kind of pushed back a little bit with her, like, okay, thanks for telling me. Just like, yeah, okay, that's good. And then kind of pushed back with the owner, like, hey, that's not how I tune. And he's like, well, if you want to tune here, you're gonna have to tune like her. You're gonna have to just pound them really hard and everything. And I was like, I'm talked to my mentors and read some stuff and just kind of looked around. I'm not gonna do that. So I kind of just let him know I don't want to do that, and I just sort of distanced myself from the relationship. We didn't really like get fired or anything. I was just a contractor. I just sort of stopped calling up there and wanting to go in and kind of let the owner know, yeah, I might tune up if you need me, let me know, and just kind of tried to keep it, kind of cordial, but let him know, like, I'm not here to learn to tune pianos from this lady. I'm here to work. I have a business, so if you want me to tune, here's my card, call me. If not, maybe it's not a great fit. And I never really looked back, and it was fine. That dealership went out of business, and they went on to sell used pianos and stuff. You learn in the business, you learn a lot about dealerships and how they work with pianos and how they work with piano tuners. And I kind of learned just by watching my mentors and sort of navigating the dealers that I was around, that dealership work wasn't my goal. My goal wasn't to work at a dealership. They wanted to pay a third of the price, about a third, maybe even a quarter of the price of a standard tuning in the field, but they wanted you to come in and do like 10 pianos. The problem is you could work all day on those 10 pianos. You just arm is sore, your ear is worn out, and you could make like what it would take you to make like 1 or 2 pianos in the field. So I just knew, like, I don't want to work 8 or 9 or 10 hours at this dealership just all day and only make what I can make in like 1 or 2 tunings in the field. So I just kind of pivoted from the dealership model and went into my own, marketing, my own business and stuff. What I thought was going to happen is I was going to get in this dealership and they were going to give me a bunch of work, and they were going to, all these people were going to be referred to me. I was going to have this great network feeding off this. And I'd seen that my mentor had worked out that plan with his dealership, but it took him like 20 years. I mean, he always still had problems with that dealership. He always still had issues. Like, they would send him to do stuff that was like janky, and he would have to act like it was okay to the client, because he didn't want the client mad at the store. And if the store got mad, if you tell the truth to the client, like, well, this piano XYZ, and then the dealership goes, why did you say that? This is a very political position to be in, and I don't like politics in terms of playing. I like to tell the client the truth. So I realized if I tell the client the truth about this piano, they're going to be so mad at the dealership who is paying me to be here. I just had to stop talking, and that made it really hard to be a good piano technician in the field with dealerships kind of pushing and leading you. So I kind of quit working for dealerships. I have a very loose relationship with them. I have a few relationships with some dealerships that have been good, but you got to be very careful in this. So the point of talking about this whole thing is, when I was young, I was trying to figure out every little thing. Like, what do I do? What do I do? And so when somebody comes into you and says, you got to do this, you have to do it this way, and you must do this, and we want it this way, you have to check your own technical ability. Like, should I do that? I'm the piano tuner. I'm the piano technician. I've studied a year or 2 or 3. The piano store owner will act like they know a lot about pianos when they might not know that much about pianos. They know about the piano, about selling the piano, but when it comes to like really tuning a piano and really working on a piano over long periods of time in a home or in a studio or in a house, in a church, they don't understand that much. You are the expert, and you will become the expert. And it won't be because you're working at a dealership. It won't be because you're doing it the way they want you to. It will be because you have found your own path, and that's what I hope you do in the mentorship, in the Apex Piano Mentorship. I wanted to share that with you because at least one of my students now is dealing with a dealership. It seems like a toxic environment, and I'm like, make your own path. You become the professional. That's what my mentors told me. When I went back and said, well, this guy's treating me like this, he's telling me to do this, she's telling me to do this, they said, look, you're the piano technician. You know how to tune a piano. You've been trained to do what you do. Now you do what you do. And you tell that guy, I remember Tim was telling me, you tell that guy you're not doing it his way and that you know exactly what to do. Now, Tim was one of my mentors. He was also an airplane mechanic for the base. He knows what he's talking about. So when he told me, you know what you're doing, you're the professional, they're going to try to tell you to do this. They're going to try to make you do it this way. But you stay true to your technical expertise and you will be a much better technician. That's when I decided to back away a little bit, say, okay, if that's how you want to tune your pianos, that's fine. And I just continue to blaze my own path in the industry, and it was very successful. It wasn't because of the dealership. So when you're new in this, you might think, oh, I gotta have a dealership, I gotta have this, I gotta have this. It's not true. You have to be a good technician. The best technicians will rise to the top. You will be paid the most. You'll have the best reputation, and that's the key. So I hope that encourages you. I hope that helps you understand a little bit where I'm coming from in terms of this thing. And I'm going to unpack this inside the mentorship. But for you guys on YouTube, you can see some of this stuff. Go join apexpiano.com if you want to know about piano tuning, piano repair, piano regulation, piano business, piano marketing, everything to become a successful piano tuner and have your own mentor right there online. Me, apexpiano.com. I'll see you in there.